Okay, good. I'm a bit under pressure because I've got a 35 slide presentation and I've got 10 minutes, so it's 30 seconds a slide. So strap in, and I assume you will get the leisure or go onto our website if you want more detail. Okay, so just hold me accountable for anything that I've said here. I mean, that's the normal thing. So, as I've indicated, this project was in care and maintenance since 2015. We revitalized it, and we've basically dusted off, relook at all of the sort of technology opportunities, and we're moving rapidly forward with our scoping and pre-feasibility study towards the end of this year. Where are we located? So we're in the Uranium province of the Yuranga region in Namibia. We are really blessed with infrastructure. We are 25 kilometers from the railhead. We're 25 kilometers from the main B2 west-east highway. We're 25 kilometers from the Rossing reservoir water connection point. So we basically have all of that major infrastructure there, close to the port of Walfish Bay, close to the international airport of Walfish Bay, and an excellent jurisdiction for our project. So our project consists of two main deposits. The Valencia uranium deposit was the main deposit that was initially discovered, and in 2011 the company started drilling the Namibia deposit, and we've basically now purchased the farm Namibia so that we have ownership of that land, and we will be going in the next few months to continue and do infill drilling to upgrade the Namibia deposit. So our project production target is 4 to 5 million pounds per annum. That will put us, as one of the larger new mines that's in the target sort of production ranges. We obviously, because of the low grade, we have to push tonnage to get the economies of scale, and that's basically what's driving that, and it will give us roughly 17 to 20-year life of mine. I'm not going to talk about the uranium market. We know there's a big gap of 150 million pounds over the next 7 to 8 years. The world right now needs 7 new Norasa projects, just to make up for what the current shortfall is between production and consumption. So the opportunity is there. We've seen that the spot prices has gone up and it's retracted a little bit. It's on its way back up, but the long-term prices has continued to do a slow rise. It flattened out a little bit, but we know in the market, companies that are signing long-term offtake agreements at the moment does that with sort of ceilings at 125 and floors at 65. So we in that ballpark. I'm not going to talk about the capital structure a lot. We basically have one major shareholder that owns 35% of the company. We've got a few big institutions that owns 15 and 10 and 12%, and so management has got a good exposure in there with one of our major shareholders that obviously owns a big chunk of it. Our market cap has been fluctuating between 100 to 150 million Canadian, and we obviously hope that we'll bounce back. We are very blessed with a project team that I've put together in Namibia. I think we are one of the few juniors that has actually got a team that can go, provided that we get the funds, go and execute this project. So these guys has been around, built uranium mines in Namibia. They've been through the process, so very blessed to have a very excellent technical team. And obviously DRA is our engineers on the job, and a very good partnership there between Forsys and DRA. Okay, so we've just acquired the farm. We are looking at some neighboring EPLs to expand our footprint in the area. We're currently in discussions with those EPL holders, and that will just give us additional grout and further drilling. There is sort of our current published resource. So in total, we sit with about 88 million pounds. We will go in and upgrade the Namibia resource, and that will then bump that 42 million pounds up to indicated. And I think with the additional extension drilling that we have been doing over the last 18 months and going to do in the next 6 months, we will be on the other side of 100 million pounds in our next MRE update. So milestones, we've got a couple of key milestones that we're driving towards. We're pushing for a pre-feasibility study towards the end of this year. There's some areas that we did some additional infill drilling. All of that will be put into our mineral resource update later this year. Those are just some of the models. As you can see, we've probably drilled out most of our resource, but it is obviously very important that we do very good work on our pit modeling and pit optimizations. We're now looking at electrifying our entire mining fleet, and we really want to go green in that regard. And mining costs is half of our operating costs, so a lot of attention has been given there by optimizing that. Just some of the intersections. We've also recently had some very good intersections that we drilled. We drilled a 220-meter hole, and it was mineralized from top to bottom at about 230 ppm. So it just shows you large scale and continued mass uranium mineralization. So recently we had our first blast on site. That is in preparation of our first box cut for some pilot work that's up and coming. We're going to do some work with ore sorting technology, and for that, obviously, we need more bulk sample, and we've done that first blast. So that's Namibia. We've got a very exciting abnormality that has never been tested, really, on that deposit. So we call it abnormally A, and we are exciting to go into that area. It's got a much bigger radiometric sort of signal compared even to the Namibia. So maybe I stick 3 or 4 holes in there, watch the news, and maybe we have a third massive deposit, just right next to the Namibia deposit. So we've changed the process from originally that was envisaged by the previous regime as a tank leach operation similar to rossing uranium. We're now looking at a heap leach operation, and most likely we're going to see a combination of ore sorting and heap leach, and that's what the basis is for our design moving forward. Just some fancy pictures of work that DRA has done for us on the 3D modeling and the layout, and that just gives an overview of where we're going to mine, put the waste, where the racetrack will be, and obviously the ultimate Ripios areas. Annalise will probably see some of her pictures here. So that's some of the radars technology that we are evaluating, and we will actually have a workshop tomorrow at the DRA offices to evaluate the first sort of results and start modeling the economic potential of this technology. Some flow sheets, that's for the process guys, if you want to have a look at it later, how we want to incorporate that. So I'm going to end up here. This is the 30-second speech. So Norasa is in one of the best jurisdictions. I don't say so. You already voted it, so it's confirmed. Project is driven by a very, very experienced team. Our project is already fully licensed for the Valencia deposit. We've got both mining license and environmental clearance. So in essence, we're shovel ready. We're just waiting for the market, to lock in those long-term offtake agreements that will support the funding of the project. We're probably going to need a bigger brother to come along our side down the line to do that, but that's where we are. Huge of expansion opportunities. We're applying for some additional EPLs in that area, and we're looking at hybrid technology mining, ore sorting, HPGR crushing, heap leaching technologies, and I've already spoken about the opportunity for us to use solar PV and potentially go completely off-grid for this project. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, take up your tools of mass democracy, express your views. A question, putting target production aside, and let's not talk about size. What are the advantages, disadvantages you have versus other uranium mines projects in Namibia? Perhaps relative grade or strip ratio. So why you as opposed to the other guys?
Yeah. So the Valencia project is obviously the lower grade hard rock projects in Namibia. So if we compare that to a Rossing or a Husap or even a Bannerman, I see Bannerman is also going to have the presentation. We are the lower grade, but we are fairly lucky that our strip ratio is substantially lower. We're very close on the Valencia deposit now, pushing a 1 to 1.1 strip ratio. If you look at Husap, they've got a grade of 500 ppm, 600 ppm, compared to our 130, 140 ppm, but their strip ratio is 1 to 7. So that makes a big difference. So yes, sometimes you have grade, but you unfortunately have to dig the cover away.
So for a company that's in the early stages, you are into lots of other technologies. It sounds like out of necessity in order to upgrade. Does that introduce risk, or is it overall going to decrease the risk? All these new things you need to do, from heap leaching to sorting to whatever.
Yeah, I mean, new technologies applied in the uranium industry, I think. We obviously will follow the normal, demonstration and de-risking of those technologies. I know financiers hate the word of, new technologies. It always makes them nervous that you introduce additional technology risk into a project. But these are not unknown technologies. I mean, they are working in other commodities. It's just applying that specifically to a low-grade uranium project.
Quick question, any byproducts?
Nope, unfortunately, just uranium.
There are questions around, has a PEA been done, and where are you with your DFS?
So we've completed an internal PEA, and we've decided that there's a number of other opportunities that we first want to, fully evaluate, including ore sorting and the electrification of our mining fleet. And then once we've got the definitive answers to those, we will then basically rerun our in-house PEA, but we continue with the engineering definition so that by the end of this year we will have enough engineering definition to actually publish a pre-feasibility study compliant to a 43101 instrument.
So what is it that you guys export in? Yellowcake?
We will export Yellowcake.
And is there ever a scenario, it's actually a question, where this, instead of exporting Yellowcake, you may have it processed further through partnerships with Nexa or people like that? Where's your Yellowcake going?
Well, normally your client to whom you sell it will nominate to which converter the product will go. We do know that the Russian government and our government has started to have discussions on value addition to the Namibian uranium, especially if we're going to be 6 operating mines. We probably get to that point where it starts to make sense to do that. But even 6 mines is not enough, to actually build a converter. You probably need 20% of the world's production, to really justify a standalone conversion facility.
So, this cynical question I can answer, but I'm going to read it to you. Considering historical prices over the last 10 years, would the operation have been under break-even during that period? So with the prices of the past, would you have been viable?
No. Our project requires at least a $60 to $70 per pound of uranium as a sustainable price. Many years, the low-grade uranium projects, we are unfortunately on the wrong side of the cost curve. So the only way to make this business sustainable is to wait for the market, go into the market at the right time, forward sell your uranium with floors and ceilings that will protect you, for 7 or 10 years, and make sure that you are sustainable, that you can ride the waves and survive the waves.
Ladies, gentlemen, I don't know what the polling was, so that's without me, so I was very interested. After this presentation, how do you feel about this as an investment? Let's wait and see. Hey, you caught some people here, and then I know who voted definitely not. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Sir.